So, for my game, I decided to recreate an ancient Mesopotamian game. So, I made my landing page a brief history of the game, and then when you click on the instructions, it explains the directions for the game and gives a visual of how to play and how to move the pieces around the board. The basic object of the game is that players alternate turns and rolling a dice and moving pieces around the board as shown. You can reset an opponent's piece by landing on them if it is in the middle row, and the first player to get all 6 of their pieces off the board, around the board, and off the other end wins the game. Click here. So this is my game board. Player 1 starts. You roll the dice. He rolled a 0, so it's now player's turn, 2's turn, because if you have 0, you can't move. So player 2 rolls, and player 2 moves a piece here. And the goal is to go all the way around, land here. You have to land exactly on this space, and then your piece will move to the end zone. And once you have all of your pieces in the end zone, you win. So player 1 goes 2, and etc. So the code. Start with, this is my landing page with the brief history, then my instructions, put the image in the middle, and then my game board. Because of the unique direction that the game board goes in, I decided to hard code it directly into the HTML so that I had more control over the positioning of the actual pieces themselves, because I actually used Flexbox to do all of my boxes. So everything's Flexboxed and then within each other. And I did all of my sizing in percentages so that it would scale properly to any device, which meant that the only media queries that I had to do were just for font sizes and the piece sizes for smaller screens. And then my code. So I have my utility function calls here, which I'll explain in a moment. Then my game display functions are all here, which display the roles, which turn it is, what player it is. Then I have functions for whether the piece that has been clicked is a valid piece, whether in various move positions to check if a space is a legal space, if it belongs to the correct player, if there's a piece already on that space, if the space that has been clicked matches the roll that has been rolled, because you can't move onto a space that you didn't roll the value of. Removing a piece if you land on an opponent's piece, and then the actual movement of the pieces themselves. And then my utility functions for creating the pieces, attaching, rolling the dice, changing the turns, checking players, checking move validity, checking wins. And then down at the bottom, I have my event listeners for reset button clicks, piece clicks, and space clicks.